What's going on, everybody? This is Brian Mazique, aka Unique Mazique, and it is my pleasure to talk to welterweight contender in the UFC and going to be participating in Real American Freestyle Wrestling in my hometown of Chicago, Joaquin Buckley. How you doing today, Joaquin?
What's up? What's up, man? Feeling good, bro. Ready to get this done. You know what I mean? Going off to Real American Freestyle. I think it's gonna be a dope opportunity for me to really kind of showcase my wrestling.
Yeah, you definitely feeling good because that dead president's jacket is
Yeah,
raw.
it's
I ain't gonna
fly.
lie.
Bring a little bit more, culture in the Real American Freestyle. You know.
I'm feeling it. I'm definitely with it. It's actually one of my favorite movies too. So
Yeah.
I love it. So I got to ask you, this point in your career, um, why did you make this choice to do Real
You
American
said
Freestyle?
why?
Yeah,
Why?
why?
Why not? Shit. They paying. It's like, to me, I put it just as simple as this, right? Obviously Pat Downey, that's his background. That's what he
Mhm.
does best is wrestling. But with in our sport with mixed martial arts, we incorporate both boxing, kickboxing, jiu-jitsu, and of course wrestling as well. And I believe that just taking this chance and opportunity that RAF is giving me, to go out there and go with the best guy and compete with him. I think it's a good training, right?
Mhm.
It's like I can't lose in this situation, right? Because I get to work with one of the best in this field. I get paid for it, and also I get as many eyes as possible on me. So regardless of winning or losing, right, I
Mhm.
get new eyes on me. And so it's like a branding and marketing thing that I believe is very important in my career right now.
I understand that, and also, so I talked to a few people who are participating in this particular event, and I'm completely transparent with them. I am an MMA lifer, been watching it for 30 some years, boxing lifer, but I didn't hardly know. I mean, I know what freestyle wrestling is, but I wasn't really into it. And I was telling people this, for whatever reason, this event has kind of gotten me into it. And I know this is like a couple paths, right? I think your path, because I've seen every fight you've had in the UFC, your path, this makes a lot of sense to me because the Usman fight, it's a couple things I want to say about the Usman fight, but what I felt like was the gap between y'all was the wrestling. It was obvious. But the cool thing, and I'm gonna be real with you, where I got the most respect for you was I felt like in the fourth round you almost had it figured out. I felt like I'm like, ooh, if this fight was like another round, this might be different. Do you look at this opportunity as like, I'm just gonna keep on building on this because I saw where my gap is, and I'm just gonna keep on building.
I mean, just what you said before, right? It was an obvious, uh, let's say, skill gap, right? When
Mm-hmm.
it came to that discipline of wrestling. Other than that, I was fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think between me and Usman, if the fight was on the feet, I definitely, will win the fight there. But unfortunately, that's where the fight wasn't, and he took it to where he felt as if he had the best opportunity to win, which I can't be even mad at, But with myself, is me. I'm always learning from my losses more than I learn from my wins, and just realizing, okay, how can I put myself in a position where it never happens again, right? And like you said, I started to figure it out, and I did figure it out, right? In the
Mm-hmm.
fifth round, he shot, I think, 5 shots, 6 shots, and
Mm-hmm.
I stopped them all, which is very rare because you see that guys like DDP or JDM, Jack Della Maddalena or Duplessis, who were both, dominated by Islam and Hamzat, right? They had the same fight as me. It's just they didn't make the adjustments, right, in the last
Mm-hmm.
rounds, and they really showed that how superior that wrestling is. And the
Mm-hmm.
only reason why I was able to not get taken down is because I made those adjustments over time. It's not that I just learned those techniques while I was down there,
Right.
right? I already had them, but it showed the level where it's hard to explain. I knew the techniques, but the timing. Timing is
Mm-hmm.
everything, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't getting my rhythm down. I wasn't getting my timing down because Usman disrupted me every single time with the
Mm-hmm.
feints, the lower changes, him throwing strikes as well. I had to respect it too. So there's a lot of different things. I was like, oh, okay. Next time I know how to make my own adjustments. But now, with this being said, I really want to try to work on my offensive wrestling too. right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I'm not going into RAF just to like, hey, I'm here, guys. Look, about to get taken down, thrown, and finished in 30 seconds. No, I'm here to compete. I'm here to win. I'm here to really show people that I've been working, and I've been working in silence for about 3 months now. So ever since that loss, I shut the fuck up. I got off. I don't know if I could, but it's not.
Hey, do you,
but
brother? Do you, brother?
but at the end of the day, I just really kind of just went quiet, and not quiet because I was depressed. I just like, let me lock in, and
Mm-hmm.
the only thing that we focused on the whole time was the wrestling aspect of it, right? And not just only on the defense, but what if I would have took down Usman? What if I would have put Usman on his back? What the fight would have looked different, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of things that I question myself, like, bro, we could have fought that a lot differently,
Mm-hmm.
and we will start to fight different. But I think it's nice being able to show my ability once I step out on that mat.
Yeah, man. I think like one of the things I see too, like, is like I said, I've been watching MMA for over 30 years at this point. I've been covering it for over 17. I think from a pure natural athlete standpoint, I don't know if I know 3 or 4 dudes that were better natural athletes than you are. And so it felt like early on in your career, a lot of what you was doing was just because I'm just a better athlete than you are, and I'm going to do this. But
Yeah.
now it seems like it's one of them situations where not only in the octagon, even with me talking to you right now, I see you becoming I see you you are a professional now. And I don't even mean about, oh, well, he talks like this when he's on the camera because it's better now. I mean, the whole vibe is a professional. What do you think was key in that kind of thing, that transformation?
You talking about overall in my fight game or just in my career
The
wise?
whole joint, the whole package.
I think everything came over time, and I ain't forced nothing either.
Right.
So the thing about this business is that don't nobody teach you about the business.
Mm-hmm.
They all, we all learn techniques, we all learn how to work out hard and all this other shit. But when it comes to promoting yourself, and when it comes to making yourself a household name, the only thing they tell you, just keep winning, right?
Mm-hmm.
Keep fighting hard. But I know a lot of undefeated fighters name ain't known, right? They not out there. And my thing is too, a lot of guys, when they say, oh, you should promote yourselves, they think, well, I don't want to act any type of way. You don't. Just show people who you are and what you do on a daily, right?
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, there's a lot of gyms and a lot of people that still don't understand how much of that helps their career.
Mm-hmm.
Because the reason why I made it so far is not because I was knocking folks out, is because I was demanding my shot, right? And I was calling people out, and I was, and like I said, it's not me acting no type of way. I've been this way since I was 18, right? Calling my shot. And I really feel as if, a lot of the fans really appreciated a fighter
Mm-hmm.
calling a shot and asking for fights, because you see it all the time when these fighters, they get on the mic after they get a win, and then they ask them, who you want next? Oh,
They
well,
don't
it's
say
up to
nothing.
it's up to the UFC. I'll fight anybody. Like, damn,
I
give
hate
the
it. I
UFC
hate
something
it,
to
bro.
work with.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
it's not disrespectful if I call you out.
Yeah.
It's a homage. I don't want to fight no bums. I only want to fight the best. So if I call you out, I think you're one of the best. That's why I want to fight you. But regardless of all that, though, I feel like for me, naturally, because I've been signed with the UFC for 5 years now, since 2020, it's been a lot of ups and downs with my career. And I just
Mm-hmm.
learned. And I realized the things that work and the things that don't work. And now I'm just sticking to what I know.
Yeah, man. I agree. I'm be honest. I hate it when somebody get a win and they get the mic in front of them and go, I'm gonna let Hunter and the team decide. I'd be like, brother, no, how many that is not it. I'm like,
That ain't
that
it.
is not it.
Cause
Yeah.
they tired of doing their job. You know what I'm saying? They don't want to work. You hear me? So they, like I said, they giving us the opportunity by act, like they not just doing it just
Yes.
to do that. They doing it for
Right.
a reason, right? Who
Yeah.
do you want next? This is
Yeah.
your opportunity to shout that out, right? And I really feel like, these guys, and again, it's not the fighter's fault. Everybody need coaching,
Yeah.
right? And like I said, I didn't have it at first, but I realized, I'm like, ain't nobody teaching fighters how to promote their fights. Which, yet
Mm-hmm.
again, that's how you gonna eat. You know,
Yeah.
there's a lot of fighters that's in the dark, and it ain't the UFC fault. UFC got 800 fighters on the roster. It's hard to
Mm-hmm.
pay attention to all y'all. So
Mm-hmm.
what are you doing, fighter,
Mm-hmm.
to
Mm-hmm.
make sure that you being seen and that you being heard? And like I said, you ain't got to act out of character. You ain't got to act out of pocket. Our lifestyle already is very weird.
Yeah. So when people call their shot, right, it becomes a lot easier for the matchmakers, right, to make these
Mm-hmm.
fights happen. But I was just saying, just overall, when guys don't want to promote themselves, they feel like they got to act out of character or do something special, which, like I said, our lifestyle and what we do as fighters is already interesting to the world.
Right.
So you really ain't got to do nothing extra. But I feel that, definitely with the new way that fighters are now, especially if you just like, what's the well maker, he just lost, right?
Yeah,
But he
Michael
lost to
Wellman.
but who
The
did the
guy
kid he
had
lose to?
came on 2 days. Ethan Ewing.
Right.
He came in 2 days,
Thank
two
you.
days
Ethan
notice.
Ewing. Right now he going viral because he just went back to his job. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Stuff like that. There's so many young athletes that can relate to that, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you still get to see this person that make it to the UFC. Now
Mm-hmm.
you can document that. Like
Yeah.
Ethan. Wellmaker was doing that same thing,
Yeah, because he was a
And
welder. Yeah.
So my thing is, now you just keep showing people what you're doing to keep them interested in you. You don't do nothing out of pocket. You don't do nothing crazy. You just show them the lifestyle of what it takes to get to the point where you got to, right?
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, when you
No, I think what you're saying, it makes a lot of sense, and it actually had me thinking about something earlier today. Was I was preparing for it. I was like, and you talk about relatability. One of the things to comment on what you just said, I think people can tell when you fake it anyway, and when you're doing too much, and you only doing this because look, I'm trying to grow my social media profile, and so you out here just doing stuff that really ain't even you, but you trying to draw eyes. I think people can see through that, and it kind of kills the whole authenticity. But for you, what I feel like is dope is as an African American who has loved mixed martial arts from since UFC 1, I feel like, especially in combat sports, people like it when, and I really wish you was on, I could see you for this because I want to see what I look at people when I'm saying whatever I'm saying, but I really feel like, in combat sports, we like to see people, we want to see people do good. It don't matter necessarily what race to a degree, but we also like to see people fight and do well who look like us. And there really is, like, to me, I'm be honest, bro, I already started putting the video together. I said Joaquin Buckley is Black America's MMA fighter. You should know it.
Hey, that's 100, bro. Nah, that's 100, man. Because right now, that's what we're working hard to do right now. Literally, I just got off the phone with a couple guys. Actually, I'm not even gonna blast their names out yet because yet again, a lot of people listening. But we're we're trying to build that fan base that the UFC has never been able to touch, but it's right here at home.
Yep.
Right. And I was telling these guys, I said, it's crazy, when I see a Marab, it's crazy when I see a Yuri Prohaska or a Alex Pereira, and trust me, these are excellent fighters. Don't get it twisted,
For
right?
sure. Yep.
But these guys are superstars right now, superstars. And my thing is, it's hard for me to imagine that I cannot do the same thing when I am doing the same thing, right? As these individuals, and I'm going out there and I'm putting on fantastic. I got 8 knockouts in the UFC. Most niggas can't even say they got wins like
Right.
that, right? And not only just with knockouts, but arguably one of the best knockouts in UFC's, history. You know what I mean? Which I let that ride when it ride. Because something might come up better one day. But with all that being said, I really feel like it's just blacks have not accessed our sport. Right, they haven't watched it. It's not that they wouldn't watch it. It's just usually when they they turn on the fight. I remember I used to see a meme all the time. They'd be like, every time my girlfriend catch me watching MMA, it's like in a goofy or gay position, right? And I feel like it's the same with blacks, right? Like every time they catch me watching, MMA dudes with wrestling, like, oh man, what's that, man? I ain't trying to watch that, right? So my thing is, when you show them or educate them, right? Because people got to be educated on the sport and then realize, oh yeah, this is real fight. Right, exactly what you see on the street or just whatever when guys just brawling, right? That is the closest thing that you can get to MMA. And I believe a lot of young athletes, in the future, they not gonna be boxing, or they might not have the opportunity to get into football and get, how hard it is to get in those sports. But and look, you're not gonna believe me probably when I say this, but I think, to me, the opportunities are easier to get into the UFC. Way easier. Now it's hard to stay in there, right? But I truly believe if you're good enough to kind of put on a highlight, right? And you put on good fights and you stay undefeated on the regional scene, you can get your ass in the UFC and it wouldn't be difficult. But with that being said, that means there's opportunity in this field that a lot of young kids don't realize they have access to, right? Because I don't believe in America yet we done seen the best athletes. Like you told me, like I'm the best athlete, but even it's still in the neighborhood, there's been better athletes than me.
Yeah,
right?
for sure. Yeah.
If they would have done or went down the same path as me, could have done great things, but they just, right? They mindset, like, I ain't trying to do that MMA stuff. It's weird, right? So with that being said, no, man, I definitely want to be one of those ones that kind of help bridge that gap, because it don't make no sense. We didn't had Rashad Evans, Rampage, John Jones, from the first Maurice Smith, right? Like, we done had great names of mixed martial artists that came in this sport, but none of them are really gonna be remembered like they should be, in my humble opinion, right? Because we just don't have people, like us watching us.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. I really feel like those people that you pointed out, the reason why, and so you know how it goes, we'll say they just don't want us to da 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 da. Well, I'm be honest with you. The powers that be are interested in money, and they don't care what color you are if you put butts in seats.
Yeah.
They really don't. And so if you bring an entire community or a good percentage of a community with you every time you fight, you have drawing power. And if you have drawing power, you have power. Would you say that's correct?
No, that's 100% correct. Right.
Yeah.
But yet again, it's nothing that you can force, because the UFC not gonna help you do it. Not in a negative way. Don't take it like it's not a negative thing.
Just, you got to do
it. They're not in the business of creating stars. They in the business of making money.
Yeah.
Right. And you be like, well, no, you need to create stars. Because they already invested. Dana, I think, said it with the whole Dana White privilege, whatever. He was like, there's some guys that you think got it. You try to put some, and then it just don't pop, right? So they done trying to. If you become a star, cool, right? But at the end of the day, they just trying to put fights together, and they trying to put the best fights that they can match make together at that time, which I can respect. So with that being said, I realized, it's all on me now, right? And it is my responsibility to really kind of show people what I'm about and who I am. And my thing is, I used to stress about it, right? Like, but then I realized, I'm like, bro, I already got the world watching and paying attention. All I got to do is be consistent now, right? Yeah. And not just consistent in showing up and talking shit like I do, but consistent in winning too. Because that's also people want to see a winner, right? And that's one thing I realized, because even with me losing against Usman, right? And regardless if, people say he the GOAT or he, whatever, I really felt in my heart and my nature that I could have won that fight, truthfully. And, because I didn't, it is what it is. But now I got some, what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I got some things to change. And I think it makes me a smarter fighter now, right? Because now I'm not just thinking about going out there to knock somebody out. I want my hand raised like Usman. Usman didn't go out there to think like he was going to put on a highlight reel on my ass. He's like, no, I'm finna get my hand raised. Yeah. I'm finna slow this young buck down, but put him on his back, and I'm finna show him what these veteran rounds do, right? Yep. And that's what he did against me. And that's what I learned from Usman that day. Because guess what? I'm getting older now. Yep. Now I'm finna fight some of these young bucks, right? That's coming up and thinking they like that, right? Because some of these guys haven't even ran into adversity, right? Like, you talk about this Michael Morales kid, right? Undefeated. He nice, Ecuadorian, right? Coming from, a different part of the world. So, the UFC definitely like that. That's a new market, right? But yet again, I don't think he liked that. he ain't proved nothing to me that he liked that, because the numbers only say so much. Like, I look at everything for what it is, and I look at, okay, it's cool that you 19-0, but you only 7-0 in the UFC. In the UFC. Right. And then when I look at it, I look at all of who you fought as well. The most notable name that he has that I can give any type of respect to is Sean Brady or Gilbert Burns. But we already know Gilbert Burns just, whatever. Yeah, it passes prime. Father time is a motherfucker, ain't it? Yeah. But with Sean Brady, And it's sad to say that Sean Brady is a way more talented and skillful fighter than Michael Morales. But Sean Brady, I've already said this and said it to his face, he mentally weak. And when he went out there against Michael Morales, he just seen this big ass transformer. It be the biggest ones too. This big dude, whatever, and then he's just like, damn, like his whole mindset was like, bro, I just gotta not get knocked out. And when you think like that, that's usually when you get knocked out.
Yeah, man. I think that's interesting, dude. Like, I think I look at that same thing. Like, I look at the records. Records don't really mean that much to me. It really is about who you beat and the string of people that you have beaten. And that's why leading up to the Usman fight, and even including the Usman fight, I think that, you talking about Vicente Luque, Ruzaboev. I'm gonna be honest with you. I always be honest. I thought you were gonna lose that fight. I ain't gonna lie. I thought you were gonna lose.
From the mountains too. That nigga from the mountains, yeah.
I thought you was gonna lose, man. I said that boy's too big, man. I said he too big. But when you won that fight, I was like, man. I said, Buck, that's
not only did we win, we dominated him, bro.
Yeah. And I think you broke him. Honestly, I think you broke him. I feel like I've been doing it. I've been watching it so long, man. I could kind of look at dudes' body language when they feel like they broke, and it felt like, man, I want to say about second round, he's like, I don't think I can beat him. And to me, that body language is universal. It don't matter where you from, what part of the world you're from. When we saw JDM
out there.
He showed it. Oh my God, he was like, bro, this dude here, I ain't
gonna lie to you. That's the worst I've ever seen somebody broken.
That was bad. That was bad. No, honestly, I'm tell you, Kamaru Usman, when Leon knocked him out with the head kick, Leon was, I felt, ready to quit on the stool.
100%.
And his coach got in his head, got in his ear, and got him to do enough to throw that.
Let him bully your son.
To let him throw that kick that they had trained out a million times.
And I tell people all the time, because that's the thing about, because you realize Usman was about to beat Anderson Silva's. He tied it, but he was going to beat it.
Yep.
I think, if I'm not mistaken,
it was close, but it was a ridiculously.
It was probably a tie. I think it was 15. It was 15. He was going to tie Anderson Silva for that win streak, right? Mm-hmm. And that's a big deal. You know what I mean? And yet again, like just the universe, right? Of fucking the MMA space, right? It's just like God chooses who's up next, bro.
Yeah,
that's really what it is, because I truly believe that Leon was never better than Usman. Never. I mean, now we see the lose, and okay, let's keep it a buck then, right? You compare the losing streak of Usman compared to Leon, right?
Yeah, it's not the same.
It's not the same, bro. And then what I hate the most, because I gotta give respect where I like Usman earned all of my respect. That nigga, like, he took that, right? Like, I already respected him because he was a champion, but because now I get it. I get what it takes to be at that level, and then to be at that level for that long. Like, it's not easy, right? So regardless, though, just going on top of it, I'm like, they do realize the only welterweight nigga he lost to was Leon.
Yeah.
And he was whooping Buddy ass in that first fight, whole fight, right?
It was the second fight. He was dominating him because they in the fought 3 times. That's when he got
3 times. Yeah, you're right. 3 times. You're right.
Yeah, when the head kick knockout, he was dominating and he got careless.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Got careless. And then in that second fight, like I tell people all the time, when you the champion, you get to slide with them decisions. You get to slide with them decisions, man. They were like, hey, all I gotta do is see the judges, nigga. I got it, and that's literally how Leon, kept that belt. And then when you talk about that third loss, I really don't even count that. That was at 185.
Yeah. He went up to fight Hamzat. Yeah.
He did that for a favor for the UFC. You can't even count that as a loss to me.
I thought he fought him the best that anybody's ever fought him.
Hamzat said that. Hamzat said my hardest test to date was Usman.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And with all that being said, because like I said, I hate it because I gotta give myself a bow too, right? Because I'm like, bro, you fought the GOAT, G. I tell myself, like, nigga, you fought the best in the world, and he still had to be humbled enough to fight you a certain type of way.
Yeah, no, I can dig it. And I think that's the right way to take it, man. I do. I really think that's the right way to take it. As a competitor, as a dog, that's the only way. That's how you got to take it. You know what I'm saying? And So I got two more questions for you because I want to. I could chop it up about this all day.
But you ain't lying. I do the same shit.
And I love the fact that you are really a student of this. Like, I'm telling you, like, the amount of fighters that I talk to who I'd be like, do you watch any other fights except for yours?
Sad, bro.
You know, and
barely even watch theirs.
I'll be like, okay, all right, well, all right, you out here doing it, so I can't really criticize. But no, I had to ask you this, man. I don't know if you ever thought about this. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, your walkout song is Levels, Big Extra Plug.
Yeah, that's what I came out to. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I think that was for the Kobe fight, though. I came out there for Kobe.
I think so. Okay, bro. Nuck if you buck.
I played it already. You didn't hear
I didn't hear that one. No, I missed it.
I did that for the Atlanta.
Okay.
I played like a loop.
Okay.
Different, Atlanta songs and shit like that. Mm-hmm.
Oh, I think that just should be yours. Because I'm telling you, it really speaks to the whole demo that you are. There ain't a black person in America that is between 16 and 35. That if you
I don't know 16. I don't know 16 years.
The reason why I said that is my youngest son is 18, and Nuck, if you buck come on, he be like, Dad, this make it go up. That's the reason why
they still playing that bitch. Yeah,
man, I'm telling you, it changes a room.
You're right.
The song,
me, I because it's some guys that do that for the whole reason for that. I'm just, like I said, I'm just being me, right? Yeah. Damn, I don't mention no names, but like Bobby Green, perfect example, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes he play the role too hard, but like you black already, bruh. You ain't gotta. You know what I'm saying? My nigga be reminding me of a whole GTA character, nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, G, like, chill. But then it made sense. It made sense because he was raised by two, was adopted by two white. So he had to find his identity through movies and, other shit and music, right? Yeah. But with myself, like, I just know that, man, as long as I'm me and people can access me, nigga, I know they're gonna love me, bro. You know? Yeah, like I ain't gotta, do the, the other stuff, And trust me, I used to come out to If You Buck, like that was like one of my first songs I came out to when I was an amateur,
But see, now the platform is so much bigger, and people will make it. It will become synonymous with you.
Do I want that though? You know what I'm saying? Trust me, I love Nuck If You Buck. Trust me, I'm definitely a big.
But I'm like, I feel like it's totally leaning into culture. Like, no, because you from Missouri, right?
Yeah.
Right, and it's a urban Midwest song because Dayton family, and it's I'm just me personally. I'm trying to tell you, if you are on the main event and your walkout come in and Nuck If You Buck play, that clip will go viral, especially if you win the fight.
Oh, of course. It's gonna go viral. It all depends on where you at too, right? Remember, because I played a lot of the songs, whatever, and people just because you already know where the crowd is full of a certain crowd, right? Yeah, and just don't recognize and they don't feel it, right? And I'm just knowing, I'm like, bro, one day I'm gonna feel this like, because I look at people like Bud, Clarissa, Javante, and they are stars as they should be. Respectfully, they should be stars, right? But I said, bro, if they can do that, I could do it in this one right here. Yeah. And no fighter has tried to become a superstar right here at home. I'm known in Europe. I'm known in Asia, Africa. Like, I'm like, literally I can go there and be like just showered with love. But yet again, when I'm here in my own backyard, like I might get a couple looks, you know what I'm saying? Like, oh yeah, you Buck. But it's not as deep as somebody that like I said, I'm a Rob or Il Taporia when they go back to Spain, like niggas, like they getting all type of love just walking through the airport, right? Yeah. And to be honest with you, bro, like I got a small window of an opportunity where I'm doing amazing shit. I want people that look like me and young, right, to look at me as an inspiration. Like, hey, I can do better than him.
Yeah.
Oh, I can be better than Buck. Oh, that knockout. Oh, I can do that. I do that now. I'm only 12 years old. That's what I want to hear. And then that's what I want to see reaccomplished in the UFC. And then, like I said, I want them to be the biggest names, because even though John Jones, respect, salute to him because he has done a lot within the UFC. But I told you, I look at things a little bit more deeper. You came in at the right time, big fo.
Yeah.
When he fought dudes like not in their prime, smaller, they wasn't no true 205ers. They was really 185ers, right? And then once you start to feel some little adversity, right, and talking about John Jones, he like, all right, niggas, you know what I'm saying? Ooh, I'm injured now. Oh, it's time to move up to heavyweight. I'm like, okay, now you finna really fight some friends. He said, fuck that. I'm gonna wait till, you know what I'm saying? Him and Dana squash that shit. Cut his ass. Now I'm back. Now I fight Cyril Gunn. Like, I just believe that John Jones was the first prototype when you got just a pure athlete. Because I would say this, didn't nobody teach John how to fight? You think Jackson Wink and them taught that nigga how to fight?
Nah, I think the wrestling base was a thing, and then like I said, I think he's I don't think he's the same kind of natural athlete that you are. I mean, but you could tell
it's different. It's different levels, and his attributes definitely played a part because of how long he was for that weight class, that length, right? But all I'm saying is, didn't nobody teach him how to fight? You right. His base is what that foundation with the Greco and the grappling, right? That's what saved him. But when he used to grab guys' leg and just do a random ass spinning elbow, like that ain't you teaching that. That's athleticism. That's athleticism. That's aggression. And then also what I would like to say, that's creativity.
It is.
Right?
It is.
Imagine in a world where you have people like Marshawn Lynch or who else is a decent name? I was just talking about this with somebody.
Saquon Barkley.
Yeah, Saquon Barkley, right? They don't go into football, but they go straight into MMA, right? Now, yeah, MMA is still here, right? You got to be a fighter here, first off, but they are. Marshawn Lynch is a fighter at heart, bro. You know what I'm saying? But just imagine you take that same athlete and you put him in the course. He learned jiu-jitsu, he learned wrestling, he dangerous, bro. We haven't even touched what MMA could really turn into.
Yeah,
because they haven't
too in Africa, you know, with some of the guys and the native Africans, like what PFL is doing, PFL Africa, and then what's gonna happen with the Performance Institute in Africa. I think honestly, I really believe Dana knows that. I've heard him say things like he was like, "I'm trying to tell you, the dudes in Africa, you just wait." I think he knows.
I'm gonna pause you on that though. Because I don't agree. I literally was just talking. That's crazy. I literally was just talking about this today. I was like, all right, how many American champions are there right now? I'm just asking you a question. American champions.
Kayla Harrison.
Okay, that's one.
You're right, exactly. I'm trying to. It's just Kayla. Yeah, she's the only one.
It's just Kayla, right? Respect to Kayla. Boom, that's cool. But as an American dominated sport, or male dominated sport, we ain't got one American champion. Since when? Since the UFC's been fucking established, has that never happened? Has we never had a fucking American champion? I think this is the first time in the UFC history, which ain't nobody talking about, first off, that we have never had an American male champion within the UFC. It's all from somebody somewhere else, which respect, because that show is a global sport. It's international now. But the point I want to make is that these guys that are now holding these belts, where do they usually train?
Yeah, they come to the United States to train.
They come to the United States of America to get the best type of training. No disrespect to my brothers out in Africa, but there's only so much you can do in the desert, in the mud, right? But I feel like the UFC don't realize they kind of doing a negative thing, because my thing is, it's crazy how legitimate is your sport when you got dudes from out of nowhere coming from nothing and no resources able to be the world's best.
I think that's why, though, honestly. I think this sport is about hunger. And I think that's honestly, even for you, I think that's what kind of separates you. I think that's why you had success, because you didn't come here with all of the perfect stuff, all of the skills and all that, but you want it. And like you say, I watch fights. You watch fights. Like, it ain't just about, like, you actually really have a passion for this sport. And combat sports is one of them things that if you don't have a passion, you should not be doing it, because you are going to do yourself and whoever else is spending time on you a disservice. And I think when you, like you said, American athletes have so many options, right? You run a 40 and a 4.5, 4.6, 4.4. The first thing you're thinking about is football, and a lot of it's got to do with pay. NFL is average salary is much higher, and I don't got to get punched in the face. I get to wear pads when I collide, you know. And so it's different. Like I told my son this, because my son wanted to box, and I said, I'm gonna be honest with you. In my opinion, combat sports usually, there's differences, but combat sports usually save people from something. Usually, the kid was growing up. It was a tough situation. They found combat sports, and it really helped change their life. When that's not your reality, combat sports is usually not your choice. Usually, there's always exceptions, but I think that's what happens. I think it's choices.
And I definitely, because literally you talking about, that was my story, bro. Did not have a gym, did not have a coach. Like literally got into the UFC off the strength, right? COVID happened. That was like my blessing, right? Because they couldn't sign no fighters over there from overseas. They had to work with the fighters that they had here in America at the time, right? And I would just happen to fight for LFA, and I just needed to check at the time. So I get exactly what you're saying. But at the same time, right, when you talk about it's levels to this shit, right? Your hunger is only going to take you so far. Your passion is only going to take you so far, right? And then it starts to be systematic, right? Because a lot of these dudes still think I'm a little slow, a little stupid, which I'm gonna let them think that, right?
You know, I gotta say something to you about that, but go ahead. I gotta say something.
But with that being said, it's just like understanding that the resources here are gonna help amplify everything that you're doing, right? And that guys from wherever they from, you know, where you talking about Uzbekistan, where you talk about Dagestan, where you talk about, you know, the Cameroon, you know, Morocco, wherever, it don't even matter. Those guys, if they want to become the best in the world, they have to move to America. They have to, right? And with that being said, it's just I understand that for me, that having an American champion is always going to be legitimate for the promotion to see what the best in the world can do. Because at the end of the day, if like I said, if you got this random dude coming from out of nowhere and he barely got training partners, I think Cyril Gane would be the perfect example, right? Cyril Gane, back in the day when he trained at he still trained over there in Paris, but remember, it was illegal over there, right? So they literally are figuring out as they going and figuring out as they going, and he got to the highest spot, which is to become a world champ, or try to get become a world champion. But John Jones decimated. It wasn't even close. And that's exactly what I'm trying to make an example of, right? Imagine, because yet again, John Jones ain't the only person like that. I'm sorry, he's not. You know, we can play like he is, but he's not the only person that can be another stature of his own. But I only believe that it's only going to be America, because I'm big on America. Obviously, you can see that, right? Like, I believe that the American champion is always going to dominate within this field and in this sport, just like blacks always dominate in boxing. You know, it's not being racist. It's not like a white dude can't beat us in boxing, but just overall, just culturally,
it's been blacks and Hispanics
and Mexicans and Hispanics. So. So that's my thing, because right now the UFC, like I said, they don't care about none of that, you know. And whatever the UFC promote, the fans gonna feed into, and that's what I realized. I said, what? I need a loyal demographic.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, for sure. You know, this is my last question, because I done held you for a good time. But I will tell you, but like I said, I always just be honest. Like the way that you were painted. And I mean, I guess, you know, some of it, you know, obviously there's accountability in every way, but you were talking about the call out, right? You know, so you called out, I think it was after the Vicente Luque fight. I think it was, you called out Conor, and after you called out Conor, Daniel Cormier was like, that wasn't smart, this, that, and the third. And I'll be honest, I felt like there was a better or more sensible call out, but I understood what you was doing. And then Michael Bisping got into it, and then, you know, you retorted, and then y'all had the thing, and now y'all chopped it up. But I felt like that whole time period really kind of misrepresented who you are. And I feel like over the time period of me watching you after, and watching your YouTube channel and the stuff, your content you put up, and especially talking to you today, that is not who you are, and I kind of feel like, because I was like, yeah, I don't really care for this character, the guy, this person. I don't really like this. I'm be honest. I was like, I don't know what is this, but it's crazy because that I feel like was a misrepresentation. Do you feel like that?
It definitely was, but me and DC, we good, bro. We had a outside conversation and everything, you know. But I realize it's a game too, bro. That's all it is. It's a major game, and then sometimes, not even on some submissive shit, you just gotta know your place. Sometimes, like in the game, you gotta know your. Trust me, I'm always leveling up, but you gotta know your place in the game at that time and at that moment. And when I called out Conor McGregor, it's literally what you just said it was. I knew I wasn't gonna get that fight, right? But I was like, F it, let me go ahead and shoot my shot, as they call. But you know, I feel like everything I said before that was definitely genuine and literally saying, like, literally me fighting in my hometown of St. Louis, right? Because that's the call out when I fought Ruza Boya. That's when I made that call out.
Okay.
But you know, but me fighting in my hometown, St. Louis, it's been a long time. It's been like almost 8-7 years since the UFC been there. But I'd say, like, I did it for my granny. Like that fight was in tribute for my granny, for me coming back home. For her, right? And you know, I had finally got my little haircut, you know what I'm saying? I got my first day of school cut, just like my granny wanted, right? And I shouted that out first, and then I got into Conor McGregor, right? And when I said what I said, which immature, however you want to say it, whatever, but it's just me cracking jokes and being funny, you know what I'm saying? It's safe to say that your mama raised, so you know, whatever. And you know, DC was like, then he called his mom a hoe, and that's where the part, because my mother and my grandmother are the people that raised me. So I have so much respect for women for that, right? Because I know how hard of a job that is. I said, if anything, I attack the man, which, yet again, if you want to do something about it, he can come holler at me, you know? But at the end of the day, you know, that's what I felt was, you know, the unfortunate part, because at the end of the day, y'all job is to report and is to, you know, speak the truth, you know? Like, don't try to change the quote unquote narrative, you know, because what it made it seem like, oh, he's disrespectful to women.
I didn't feel like that.
You know, because yet again, you can call it the worst call out, dude. You know that, because my thing is, I'm always the first to do something in the UFC, right? So not only do I have the worst call out, but they saying I got the best one as well. When I engage with the audience, when I say, hey, who y'all want to see me fight next, which ain't nobody ever done before. Right. But it ain't like I'm coming up with something like, damn, ain't nobody. No, I take what I see in my culture and now I just introduce it to ours.
That's
right
how you do it.
in the MMA field. Right.
Yes, sir.
Like, that ain't nothing new when people like, hey, shout out who I'm just talking, like I said, but like, we be at on the east side, right? Girls shaking their butt. They be like, who shook it harder, right? And whoever they cheer for the loudest, that's what they cheer for. So like, there's like nothing new, but a lot of guys don't have the courage. I'm like, bro, you stepping out in that cage, in that octagon, you shouldn't fear nothing. You really sacrificing yourself and your body and your health and your life when you step out there. What the fuck you talking about? You scared? You know. So that's the difference between. But I know that for myself, there's gonna be other athletes that's gonna follow behind my footsteps, but I gotta lead that path because I'm on a trajectory ain't nobody else been on, and I'm excited myself to see how far I get with this shit, bro.
Yeah, man, so, I'm excited too, bro. I'm be honest, I'm gonna let you go. But this is one of my favorite interviews that I've done in a while. You right up there with Deontay Wilder. If you ever seen the Deontay Wilder interview, you know
I definitely check it out. How
entertaining it can be. So,
hey, man, matter of fact, if you still talk to him, man, tell him to reach out, man. Because yet again, I think crossing paths with MMA and boxing is going to be extremely important for not just the athletes, but for us. You know, from the guys I was talking about before, who I talked to on a close basis. I said, bro, we gotta, because they got it. Deontay got it. Clarissa got it. Bud got it. Like, hey, bro, we fighters just like y'all. We just do something a little different. You know.
But
I appreciate this interview, man. Thank you, bro.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you.